Hello and welcome back to America's Forum right here on Newsmax TV. John Bachman alongside Morgan Thompson and Javier Manjarres, the editor of shark-tank.com. Wanted to make sure we got it correct.
You got to give JD some lessons on pronouncing my name because, geez. But he's doing better.
He does his best to make sure he gets the exact pronunciation correctly and maybe tries too hard because his voice is having a little trouble right now. That's why I'm here in his stead. We are going to take a look back because we have so many important stories going on. And some of the things that were said yesterday on the Sunday talk shows, normally a forum for politicians and pundit types to go on there and talk about the big news of the day here. But it's also worth taking a closer look at what they actually said. Right. Again, this is a Monday tradition here on America's Forum. We watch these Sunday talk shows so you don't have to. And we'll focus on Secretary of State John Kerry first. He pulled off what's known as the full Ginsburg by appearing on all 5 Sunday morning talk shows. On Fox News Sunday, though, the Secretary of State sounded a little more like the Secretary of Gas when he was caught making more comments on a hot mic.
Yeah. It's a hell of a pinpoint operation. It's a hell of a pinpoint operation.
Right. It's escalating significantly, and it just underscores the need for ceasefire.
We've got to get over there.
Yep.
Thank you, John. I think, John, we ought to go tonight. I think it's crazy to be sitting around.
Okay, well, there you see Kerry's frustration. He got an earful from Chris Wallace, too, on the program as well. Obviously frustrated with what's going on and maybe sarcastically referencing the pinpoint operation that is the Israeli ground incursion. Of course, this is not the first time Kerry has made questionable comments regarding Israel. Here's more from the Secretary of State's hot mic diplomacy.
The unitary state winds up either being an apartheid state with second-class citizens, or it winds up being a state that destroys the capacity of Israel to be into a state.
Of course, there's the comment, the controversial comment involving a Jewish state. Of course, Kerry also made those comments off the cuff about Iran's nuclear program, which led to this ongoing situation we're still in. Is this something that Kerry maybe does subconsciously, if not on purpose, Morgan?
I don't think so. I mean, I certainly hope not. And it's funny, the first clip we showed, apparently his mic was off, or he thought his mic was off, but it actually looked like he was on camera when you see the clip.
It was part of the satellite tour. He just sits in that one location and does the interviews with all 5 of those talk shows. And in between, in the downtime there, he spoke up. Javier, what was your reaction? Kerry should know better, right?
Of course he should know it, but this is John Kerry speaking. He's like the second coming of Joe Biden. But look, all joking aside, has anyone thought maybe he was talking about pinpricks? Maybe subconsciously he was thinking about needle pricks. Maybe some of those fillers, face fillers, kind of seeped in the blood system and made him kind of go off the reservation here. But look at his statements. They're off the wall. I mean, why would he make these say hot mic or not? This is how he thinks, this is who he is, and it makes you wonder, is this how the administration thinks?
Well, I can understand the Secretary of State's frustration given how much time he has spent in Israel and in Palestine trying to, or I should say the Gaza or the West Bank, trying to work on a solution here throughout his term as the Secretary of State. Let's move on and quickly talk about Democratic Senator Dianne Feinstein, the chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee. She tried to send a stern message to Russian President Vladimir Putin regarding the downing of Malaysia Airlines flight MH17.
Where is Putin? And I would say, Putin, you have to man up. You should talk to the world. You should say, if this was a mistake, which I hope it was, say it.
Now, Dianne Feinstein, obviously a very influential person in the Senate and as the chairman of the Senate Intel Committee, obviously has a lot of inside information. Do you think she was strong enough in her words? I mean, I guess if the president is going to be stronger, somebody needs to step up.
I think for a lot of people, this is becoming the final straw. I mean, Putin is just totally off the reservation, but I think for a lot of people, this is it just seems like such an act of aggression, and I think it's the final straw for a lot of people.
Javier, should they be talking about a galvanizing moment?
I think she should have directed that comment of manning up to President Obama, because if it wasn't for his weak foreign policy, we would not have Putin in the position he's in. Putin is like the de facto leader of the world. It's not Barack Obama. He is showing strength. Obama is showing weakness, and there's the problem. Obama needs to man up, not Putin. He has done so. Putin has manned up, and this is where he is.
Okay, fair enough. We'll leave that issue there. Of course, much more to talk about, and we've seen the emergence of foreign policy issues in that political poll we've been talking about all day. But of course, most voters are driven to the polls by domestic policy issues, and there's no other bigger issue right now than the immigration crisis. Last week, Democratic Senator Harry Reid used his time on the Senate floor to criticize Republicans over their handling of the children who are coming to the U.S. border. Reid says radical Republicans would rather hold kids ransom than work on immigration reform. But yesterday, Texas Senator Ted Cruz had his response for the Senate Majority Leader. Take a listen.
I'll tell you who's holding these kids ransom is Harry Reid and the president, because their view is don't do anything to fix the problem. He mentions comprehensive immigration reform. The Gang of Eight bill is one of the causes of this problem, because what the kids are saying is they're coming because they believe they'll get amnesty.
All right, so Ted Cruz weighing in there. Lawmakers are currently working on a solution to deal with the influx of some 60,000 illegals who have crossed the U.S.-Mexico border in just the last 9 months. Some reports say that number may hit 100,000 before the end of the year. Of course, Cruz is trying to push back against the president's DACA action, which the deferred action for the Dreamers, so-called here. But Cruz is also kind of stepping in it because John Cornyn has that bill with Henry Cuellar, the Democrat. There's some bipartisan support there, but Cruz might undermine that. Do you think Cruz cares?
I don't think he really cares. I think Cruz is dead right in what he's saying, because look, at the end of the day, what he said about the Gang of Eight bill is correct. It's part of the problem. It gave these illegal immigrants in other countries false hope that they're going to come here and be able to stay here. And that's why they're coming. Look, and I've said it before, even on this program, look, I think the president has something to do with this. I think it's been worked out where all of a sudden all these tens of thousands of kids are showing up at the border, just crossing the,
There's still a lot of questions that remain. We know Rick Perry is going to get a little bit more involved with the National Guard, and we'll keep our eye on this as well. Javier, Morgan, great to see you both. We're back with more here on America's Forum right after this.